Tonight's broadcast is made possible by Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Crowell Insurance Company, the insurance superheroes. Ironworkers Local 395, proud to be union. Four Seasons Mechanical, quality and comfort is our guarantee. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn. Pulse Technology, leading the way in technological innovation for over 70 years. Visit Michigan City LaPorte, closer than you think, better than you imagine. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands in the business. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. Blythe's Team Sports, where the athlete shops. And Hampton Inn, downtown Indianapolis. This is the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network. We come to you tonight from Cynthia Field on the campus of Crown Point High School as the Region Sports Network presents live video coverage of Indiana High School softball as the visiting Chesterton Trojans take on the host, Crown Point Bulldogs. I'm Leo Stauderher, and I'll have the play-by-play for tonight's action as we have a Duneland Athletic Conference matchup between two local rivals in Crown Point and Chesterton. The visiting Trojans of Chesterton entered with a record of 2-2 on the year, 2-1 against the Duneland. They are 1-1 at home, 1-1 on the road. They lost last time out yesterday, falling on the road to Lake Central, 17-4. They've scored 35 runs while surrendering 29. And on the other dugout, it's the Crown Point Bulldogs. They enter with a record of 6-1, 3-0 in Duneland play, 1-0 at home. They have won their last game, a 13-0 shutout over Portage yesterday. They have scored 69 runs while allowing just 17. As we move along, let's take a look at how these two teams will line things up. Tonight's starting lineups are sponsored by Great Lakes Sports Hub, combining world-class facilities, cutting-edge technologies, and community support into one unified platform for athlete development. So for the visiting Chesterton Trojans, led by head coach Aaron Cochran, they will line up as followed. Olivia Milton leads off. She plays catcher. Lila Miller follows her, batting second, playing short. Jillian Pittman plays third, bats third. Hannah Florian will be the designated player. She bats cleanup. Natalie Dusendang plays first, bats fifth. Lexi Smith bats sixth, plays second. The pitcher, Peyton Cherup, will bat seventh. Cadence Ford patrols center field. She will be batting eighth. Maddie Nichols will be in right field, bats ninth. Ava Wagner will be the flex. She plays left field. So that's how Chesterton will deploy their 1 through 9 now for the Crown Point Bulldogs, led by head coach Angie Richwalski. Scarlett Tedman leads off, plays center field. Lulu Johnston bats second, plays short. Ashlyn Keita bats third, plays third. Evie Cuevas bats fourth, plays catcher. Eva Govert will be playing second, batting fifth. Anna Neal will be playing left field, batting sixth. Elle Chisen will be the designated player today. She bats seventh. Lila Stymack bats eighth, plays first. Amaria Yarbrough will round out the 1 through 9. She will be playing right field. And Paige Lazert will be the starting pitcher for the Bulldogs. So Lazert in the circle against Cherup, as those are the two starting pitchers for each squad. As we'll take a look now at the forecast here, and the game night forecast is brought to you by our friends at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. Tonight's forecast, it is currently 71 degrees and cloudy in Crown Point, with temperatures expected to continue dropping into the mid-60s throughout the evening tonight. The earliest forecasted rain should be in the 11 o'clock hour, so it was a rainy morning and afternoon, but it appears we've been able to dodge that, as the wind is also blowing in So that'll be an interesting thing to see how the pitchers choose to deploy things, as maybe you could afford to keep things higher in the zone as opposed to a day where the wind's blowing out and you want to keep things low. But that's the Friday night forecast, brought to you by Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. So we'll continue to set the stage for first pitch between Chesterton and Crown Point. We'll step aside. When we come back, we will have game time between the Trojans and the Bulldogs. That's next, so stick around. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Have you heard? Strachan Mantil was voted Best of the Region in 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Strachan Mantil.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowd Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowd Companies, insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Get Pulse Technology on your team and score a touchdown with our managed print and copier services. Cover your bases with our IT and technology solutions, or hit a home run with our wide selection of office supplies. Scoreboards or AV solutions from Pulse Technology. That's a slam dunk. Or go for the grand slam with our office furniture and design services. Get in touch with us today. Pulse Technology, powering Indiana business since 1919.
Batting ninth, the right fielder, number 10, Amaria Yarborough. The flex is the pitcher, number 29, Paige Lazert. The head coach of the Crown Point Bulldogs is Angie Richwalski, assisted by Jessica Brannigan and Christina Sides. Umpires for today's contest are Jeff Detlow and Sam Orlick. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, could you all please rise and kindly remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
So there was the national anthem as we get ready for first pitch of this Duneland matchup between Crown Point and Chesterton. This will be the first meeting between these two teams this season. They played 3 times last year, twice in the regular season, once in the state tournament, with the Bulldogs taking all 3 of those matchups, 15-3 in the first, 10-0 in the second, and then 7-2 in the regional championship. We'll profile that more as the game progresses. But first, let's get to meet the starting pitcher from the Crown Point Bulldogs. Paige Lazert has a 5-0 record this season in 5 appearances, a 1.45 ERA. She's logged 29 innings of work with 22 hits against, 9 runs, 6 earned runs. She has walked just 7 batters while striking out 57, and she had an excellent day yesterday against Portage, throwing a no-hitter with 11 strikeouts over 5 innings. Those base runners reached via errors to break up what could have been a perfect game bid, but it was still a no-hitter in what was a very good day pitching-wise for both Bulldog softball and baseball. More on that in a little while, but for now, Lazert gets ready for her first inning of work against the top of the order from Chesterton. Milton, Miller, and Pittman, the first 3 do, as the Bulldogs will be in the infield wearing their white uniforms, white jerseys with red pinstripes, red numbers on the front and back. The Trojans will be wearing maroon jerseys with white script across the front, white numbers outlined in yellow on the backs. As the leadoff hitter Milton gets ready to step in the box, it's time for softball here in Crown Point between the Bulldogs and the Trojans. Milton, the catcher from Chesterton, the junior catcher, bats right-handed, has been batting .222 this season, .364 on base percentage while slugging .556. She has driven 1 out of the park. She has driven in 1 run and scored 3 on the season. So Lazert winds and fires. First pitch, high in there for strike 1. At 4:48, we are officially underway. But Lazert, the next pitch, looking for that far corner, gets it there to start the count 0-2. That's what you want against the leadoff hitter, Milton. No balls, 2 strikes, with the wind blowing in on a cloudy day. Her delivery with the 0-2 pitch is high and away. That moves the count to a ball and 2 strikes. But Lazert pitching on back-to-back days was excellent yesterday with 11 strikeouts and a no-hitter. A 13-0 win over Portage. She starts this game with a strikeout, bringing the high heat to retire Milton swinging. That's the first out of this ball game, so picking up where she left off yesterday, as now Lila Miller bats for Chesterton. Miller, the senior shortstop, batting .231 on the campaign, works right-handed against the right-handed pitcher Lazert. Brings her delivery towards the plate, gets her swinging under that rise ball, so another count starts 0-1. Cuevas set up as the catcher for the Bulldogs, delivers a sign, now the 0-1. This is low and away to even the count up at a ball and a strike. So now for Miller, trying to get a feel with what Lazert's working with. You saw the leadoff hitter. The 1-1 pitch fouled back off the catcher and to the backstop. Makes it a 1-2 count, so Miller able to make contact with that one. Now you think has to get a little more defensive with the count of ball and 2 strikes. Trying to find a way to put one in play against Lazert. The 1-2. Elevated, foul territory, possibly playable. It will not be playable, actually, as it goes off the roof of the Crown Point dugout. Keita charged in from third base, initially looking like she had a play, but then it just continued to drift away and away off the top of the Bulldogs dugout. So count remains 1-2 with 1 away, nobody on base. Lazert's 1-2 speeds inside to even the count up at 2-2. So a good take for Miller, who was able to foul away the last two pitches, but avoided chasing anything inside there. The breakthrough pitch. Miller lofts this one towards the left field corner. It hooks foul and over the wall in left field. That would have been if it was a little bit more to the right, would have been a long home run, but instead it is just a long foul ball. So for Lazert, you breathe a sigh of relief. For Miller, you try to find a way to just move that a few feet to the right. But that had good distance, just unfortunately continued to hook left. The 2-2 bounces its way to the catcher, will make it a full count at 3-2. So a couple of nice takes for Miller in this at-bat as well. Has avoided helping out the pitcher Lazert. And she's worked this count full. On the 3-2, slap towards shortstop. Kita scoops it up, throws across the diamond in time for out number 2. So a lengthy at-bat between Lazert and Miller is won by the pitcher Lazert. And you have to feel maybe a boost of confidence after an at-bat like that, where it took 7 pitches and a long foul ball that would have been a round tripper if it was put just a little bit inside the foul pole. But then for Lazert to go back, get her out, grounding to third. That has to give you a little bit of a boost as there are now 2 away with nobody on base. Jillian Pittman batting now for Chesterton, has the count even up at 1-1. Pittman, the junior, playing third base today. Trying to find a way to be the game's first base runner against Lazert. The 1-1. Pittman cracks it foul towards the left field bullpen. So just a little bit early on that swing. That was a high exit velocity, but just continued to slice foul over the Bulldog dugout on the third base side. So she's behind a ball and 2 strikes with 2 away. Lazert working in the circle is a strike away from getting out of this inning. And she'll get her with a strikeout. Got her to wave over that one for strike 3. So a ground out sandwich between 2 strikeouts are how the Trojans go down in 1-2-3 fashion. We'll see the Bulldogs take their first at-bats when we return for the bottom of the first inning. That's next, so stick around. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Sometimes the hardest part of improving your business isn't coming up with a great idea. It's knowing what to do with it. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services is ready to meet all your industrial and commercial construction needs. Whether it's a small build-out or a complete construction project, Chester will design, build, and finance. Our team eliminates multiple contractors, providing you a single point of contact while staying within your budget. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services, turning your ideas into realities.
You ready? Let's go! Yeah! For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Your future starts
here!
Mayor Pete Land and the Crown Point Pace Department are proud to support Crown Point Athletics and say Go Bulldogs. Crown Point remains dedicated to preserving history, celebrating everyday life, providing the best in city services, and encouraging smart growth. Visit Bulldog Park on select Saturdays for the Crown Point Farmers Market beginning May 23rd. Purchase wares from 70-plus vendors from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. through September 26th. For more information, visit crownpoint.info/farmersmarket. The first pitch to Scarlett Tegman is high and away for ball 1. Peyton Cherup is the starting pitcher for Chesterton. These are her stats as follows for the sophomore right-hander. She's 1-0 on the year in 2 appearances. She spins the 1-0 towards the plate. Tegman elevates it high, playable on the left side of the diamond, and Miller shuffles over to make the catch. The Trojan shortstop makes out number 1. Moving into shallow left field, but the stats for Cherub. 1-0, a 4.42 ERA, and 6 1/3 innings pitched. She has allowed 11 hits, 8 runs, 4 of those were earned, walking 4 batters while striking out 6. Lulu Johnston bats left-handed for the Bulldogs here with 1 away. Takes a first pitch strike from Cherub. So Johnston, the sophomore, playing shortstop this evening. Waits for the 0-1 pitch. That's low, bounces its way to the catcher Milton, evens the count up at a ball and a strike. But Johnston batting .636 this season with 14 hits. One of the leaders for the Bulldogs in that category, 5 doubles. Slaps that one foul, and 4 RBIs. She has scored 13 runs, so again near the top of the team leaderboards for that. And when you have a underclassman leading in offensive categories like that, that's certainly something that can really enjoy in both the present and the future tense for the program. She pokes the 1-2 back to the pitcher Cherub, who scoops it up, throws over to first in time to retire Johnston. So Cherub, helping out defensively, was ready to react to that one. Was able to contain it, throws over to first, and puts the second out on the board. It's worth mentioning, too, Cherub, a sophomore as well. So being a sophomore trusted to be one of these starting pitchers against a good team in Crown Point, that's a big vote of confidence. Kita sends one high in the air, shallow right field, ranging in and landing just in front of the second baseman, Smith. That will put Kita aboard, as that one was sent a mile high in the air. You could see maybe with the wind blowing in, that pushed it forward as Smith was originally backtracking to get to that one. It lands in front of her, so Kita is aboard, went swinging at the first pitch, and was able to just kind of drop it in shallow right field. So 1 aboard, 2 outs. The Cuevas takes a first pitch ball from Cherub, but back to Cherub being a sophomore in the rotation, pitching against a tough program in Crown Point. That shows this staff believes in her. As Cuevas lifts it in the air towards center field, Ford calls for it, camps out under, and makes the catch for out number 3. So the Bulldogs get 1 base runner on, but leave her stranded as we are through 1 here at Cynthia Field. We are scoreless. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
Located in the heart of downtown Indianapolis, the newly renovated Hampton Inn is within walking distance to over 30 restaurants and attractions, including Lucas Oilfield and Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Hampton Inn has much to offer, including a hot breakfast, high-speed internet access in every room, as well as a fitness center. Why wait? Make your reservations today. Call 317-261-1200 or make them on the web at hamptonin3.hilton.com. Hampton Inn, Indianapolis, downtown.
Be sure to stay connected with all things Region Sports, as we are always active on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, and at our website at regionsports.com. Celebrating over 25 years, we are proud to still be the only game in town. Start of the second inning, Leo Staudaher with you on the call. Clint Klaus and Caleb Bernard make up the rest of our crew on site. And our management team making things possible. Chris Ramirez, executive producer, Rich Castillo, Zach Miller, and Mike Dewan on what's another busy day on the airwaves of Region Sports. We have crews at a couple of baseball games, so we could provide a scoreboard update at some point soon. But first, we'll work on things here in the second inning. Hannah Florian leads off. She's the designated player for the Trojans. Lazert gets the sign, winds and fires. That's high for ball 1. But these two teams meeting for the first matchup this season. Crown Point 3-0 in Duneland play. Chesterton 2-1. The 1-0. is high for ball two, but this is what figures to be another very good year for the Duneland Conference on the diamond, with Crown Point and Lake Central both near the tops of the 4A state rankings. The 2-0, swing and a miss, strike one, but you have a Chesterton team that could potentially be on the rise, trying to get in that mix as well, as they're 2-1 with wins against Valparaiso and Merrillville. The 2-1 from Lizert gets part of the outer third for strike two, evens things at 2 apiece. So now Florian trying to start the inning with a base runner for the Trojans. Lizert brings it towards the plate, gets her to go over it for strike three. That's the third strikeout in 4 batters for Lizert. So picking up where she left off yesterday with 11 strikeouts over 5 innings we'll talk about it. What was for both Crown Point softball and baseball, a double no-hitter day. Paige Lizert throwing the no-hitter for the softball program as her first pitch is fouled away by Natalie Dusendang, and then Logan Johnston threw a 5-inning no-hitter for the baseball team against Valparaiso yesterday. We're going to have to go through some previous schedules, but I bet that would be, as the 0-1 squeaks out of the catcher's glove, goes to the backstop, but I bet that would be difficult to find a day in the region where a school's baseball and softball teams both threw a no-hitter. But maybe we could do some homework and find an example of that. The 1-1 swung through for strike two. And even more dominant fashion, both teams doing it via run rule victories too, and the baseball team winning 11-0 and softball winning 13-0 yesterday. The 1-2 chased high for strike three, so make it 4 strikeouts in 5 batters for Lizert. There are 2 away here in the top half of the second inning, and Lexi Smith will step up to bat. So Smith playing second base today, a senior for this Chesterton program. Remember from last year's regional championship, Crown Point had a pitcher also named Lexi Smith, and at one point, Lexi Smith grounded out to Lexi Smith for a putout. So that was a fun sentence to say on air, that 2 players with the same name being involved in the scoring there. But the count 1-1 to Lexi Smith with 2 outs here in the top half of the second. She waves at it, sends it towards shortstop, where it will be a basket catch made by Johnston to put an end to the top half of the second inning. So 3 up, 3 down for the Trojans. As we head to the bottom half of the inning, we are still scoreless in Crown Point. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
I was born, raised, started the family, and worked my nearly 30-year career in law enforcement, both as a local police officer and as an ATF agent, all here in Lake County. I promise to lead differently, restore the public's trust in the Sheriff's Department, and to build a world-class police organization that is focused on serving you. In this election, Lake County residents have a different choice, a better way. I'm Jason Gore, and I approve this message.
On-Site Generator Solutions is a locally owned and operated power partner for Northwest Indiana homes. With over 14 years of experience, they handle tasks such as generators, residential electric, plumbing, automotive care, and more. You can find them on Facebook. Give them a call at 219-516-6800 or search them up on the web at onsitegeneratorsolutions.com. On-Site Generator Solutions. Power you could count on, every time, everywhere.
Leads off for Crown Point as we start the last of the second inning, and she drives this one high in the air towards left field, going towards the fence, and it's out of here! Govert starts the bottom of the second with a solo home run, and the Bulldogs strike first. So 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 run off the bat of Govert. That's the start the Bulldogs wanted. as it just continued to rise. Carry out over the left field fence. Wagner gave chase, but it was out of her reach, and that is the ball game's first run. And the batter now will be Anna Neal, the left fielder from Crown Point. So Neal steps into the right-handed batter's box. Neal, another underclassman in the lineup, a sophomore, playing left field today. She fouls this one, twisting out over the third base dugout to start the count 0-1. But Neal has 3 home runs on the season and 11 RBIs. So we'll see if she can contribute to the offense here for the Bulldogs. The next pitch, called strike 2, and cleaning up on Govert. That was her first home run of the season. That was a good swing to start this half inning. The 0-2, lifted high, foul, over the backstop, and rolls down the net, back to the catcher, but the count remains 0-2. So a good defensive swing to keep the at-bat going for Neal. Cherub brings the 0-2 towards the plate, and it's fouled away. Neal just sending it back down, and that's for a batter to waste 2 pitches with 2 strikes in the count. Shows you're getting defensive and staying alive, and that forces the opposing pitcher to have to think, try to find another way to retire the batter. The 0-2 called strike 3, so Neal caught looking. That one dropped at the outer portion of the plate for the first out in the inning. So credit to Cherub to be able to battle after Neal wasted a couple 2-strike pitches. She was able to find something that worked, froze her, and picks up her first strikeout of the ball game. Elle Chisholm, the batter now for Crown Point, working as a designated player today. Batting .286 on the season with a .500 on-base percentage. She starts the count 1-0. Now called strike 1 on the far third. Evens the count at 1 apiece. So for Cherub, too, that was a big strikeout to get with the count 1-1. This one cued foul, twisting toward the Bulldog dugout, and it lands just beyond the fence. Moves the count to 1-2. But for a pitcher, especially an underclassman pitcher, you always pay attention to what they do, the at-bat after a home run. If maybe they're trying to overcompensate and throw one as hard as they can, and it could be one that could just as easily end up going over the fence again. Or in Cherub's case, she was able to settle in and get the strikeout. This one rolled fair towards Smith at second base. She steps up, throws over to first base. That will retire Chisholm for out number 2. But for Cherub there, that was a very good bounce back at bat. And that's just the fact of the matter is, if you even at the highest level, the best pitchers give up home runs. So it's what you do after you allow one that separates you from the rest of your counterparts. As this one put in the air towards the warning track, Ford has a beat on it and will make the catch for out number 3. So a solo home run from Ava Govert gets the scoring started for Crown Point. They lead by 1 as we are through 2. Heading to inning number 3, you're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Meet Scott Miller, a lifelong Northwest Indiana resident. Scott has spent his career serving his community as a teacher, school leader, and superintendent of Hammond schools. Today, he serves as chief of staff for the city of Hammond, helping lead operations and guide decisions that impact local families every day. Known for tackling tough challenges and making responsible, honest decisions, Scott is ready to bring steady leadership to the Lake County Council. Scott Miller, responsible, experienced, ready.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Looking to buy or sell in Northwest Indiana? Trust the Nicola Group, one of the region's top real estate teams, delivering a smooth, client-first experience every step of the way. The Nicola Group, the trusted Northwest Indiana real estate team. Peyton Cherup leads things off at the plate for Chesterton here in the top of the third inning. She cannot get to that pitch from Lizert, and so Cherup facing her counterpart, Lizert, both pitchers facing each other here in the top of the third inning. The count 0-1 as Lizert will fire. Gets her to go over that outside pitch for strike two. The catcher, Cuevas, did a good job setting up away and was in the right spot there as they got her to chase. And now the count quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 outside, we go 1-2. Cherup batting .200 on the year. Has driven in 2 runs, has scored 3 in 4 games played. Now the 1-2 from Lizert. Swing and a miss, strike 3. It is the 5th strikeout for Lizert. She has had 2 in each of the first 2 innings. So now 5 strikeouts in 7 batters faced. Cadence Ford bats for Chesterton. Ford, the junior, playing center field today. She cannot catch up to that first pitch from Lizert. Starts the count 0-1. So Ford batting .364 on the year. Trying to be the first base runner of the day for the Trojans. The 0-1 as Cuevas sets up outside. Ford doesn't offer. And a good take evens the count up at a ball and a strike. But Lizert picking up right where she left off yesterday. Gets Ford to swing through that 1-1 pitch, moves the count to 1-2. 11 strikeouts yesterday and already 5 today. Now her windup for the 1-2 pitch is low. Count goes to 2-2, but sometimes when a pitcher is in a good rhythm, that's such the luxury with softball where you can throw her on back-to-back days and try to keep things rolling. And this has been the case here. The count even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. We'll go full after that one continued to rise, and Ford, with a wise take, has worked the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The payoff pitch. Strike 3. Ford goes down swinging for strikeout number 6 for Lizert. And the batter now, Maddie Nichols. Nichols, the right fielder. Another junior in a Chesterton team that starts a lot of juniors and a few sophomores. First pitch strike to Nichols. So it's a team that made it to regionals last year, falling to Crown Point, but starting a lot of players that have a lot of time left to continue to grow and play together. The 0-1. So you have to feel excited about what Erin Cochran and her staff could be building here with this Chesterton program, and trailing 1-0 to a Crown Point team that has hopes of returning back to the state finals this year. They're trying to take care of business today. The 0-2 outside moves the count 1-2, but first things first, they have to find a way to get runners on base against a tough pitcher in Lizert. The 1-2 pitch. Outside. Well, 2s are across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs in the top half of the third inning. They bring the corner infielders in. The 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3. So Lizert strikes out the side as Nichols is caught looking. It's another 1-2-3 inning we head to the bottom of the third. Crown Point leads 1-0. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Have you heard? Strachan-Van was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratton Mantel.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowd Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowd Companies, insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Crowell Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crowell Companies proud to recognize the superheroes on the diamond. Amaria Yarbrough leads off. The bottom of the third inning showed bunt there. Made contact, but it was fouled away. So the count begins 0-1. Cherub pitching against Yarbrough. Now the 0-1. Yarbrough sends it over to shortstop where it's gobbled up by Miller. She throws over in time for out number one. That was a quick play as Yarbrough slapped it towards short. Miller was able to get to it and had to catch and release, threw over for the first out. And that's a big out to get with the number 9 hitter in the lineup up. So to retire Yarbrough, now you face Scarlett Tegman with nobody on base and 1 out. Tegman a tough out to get. She flew out to shallow left field where the shortstop made the catch in her prior at-bat against Cherub. Cherub winds, brings it towards the plate. Tegman pokes it back to the circle. Nice stop by Cherub, and then she will throw over to first base to make the out. But that's now twice today we've seen Cherub defend her position and do so, well, making it look easy. I won't say with ease because those were 2 very tough plays to make, but Cherub flashing the glove there and then throwing over. And that had to be a quick throw as well, but she didn't rush it. She made it mechanically sound, and just like that, there are 2 outs in the inning on 2 ground outs. So that's a good skill for a sophomore pitcher like Cherub to have, too, to be willing to pitch to contact. The 1-0. Inside goes 2-0. Obviously, it's fun to pitch like Lazert with already 7 strikeouts in the game, but some days you're not going to be able to get all those swing and misses, so you have to be able to get some help from your friends behind you, work flyouts, work groundouts, and that's another way to work quickly in ball games, and that's what Cherub has done a very good job of here, is inducing a lot of ground ball contact. The 2-1. Outside moves the count to 3-1 to the batter Lulu Johnston. She grounded out to Cherub in her first at-bat, so another one of those ground outs to the pitcher we were talking about. That's a Cherub looking to avoid walking Johnston here. The 3-1 is inside for ball 4. So that will be the first walk of the day thrown by Cherub. It comes with 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. The batter now, Ashlyn Kita. Kita had a single, kind of a unconventional single, as it was looked like it would initially be playable, but then kind of got knocked down by the wind and pushed in. So a single that barely left the infield on a fly, but it put her on base. That's what we're. Once you're aboard, you don't really care how it happens, but Kita looking to make something happen with 2 outs. She rolls this one over to shortstop, handled by Smith. She will choose to throw to first and gets it there before Kita. So that ends the inning. The Bulldogs get a runner on base, but she will be left stranded as 3 ground outs put an end to that. We are through 3. It's Crown Point leading 1-0. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialists.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the Game, brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. We are ready for the top of the fourth inning here at Cynthia Field, where Crown Point leads Chesterton 1-0 in a battle of two Duneland Athletic Conference rivals. It's the top of the order up for Chesterton. Olivia Milton bats. She swings through the first pitch from Lazert to start the count 0-1. Milton struck out swinging to start the game. She'll look for a different result here in her second at-bat against Lazert. The right-hander goes through her windup and skips it outside to even the count up at a ball and a strike. So we've seen Lazert started just about every at-bat 0-1, and that really sets you up to do well in those counts. The 1-1, high and away, moves the count 2-1, but when she's been able to strike out 7 of the first 9 batters, it helps when you're beginning counts 0-1, 0-2. But this time it's the batter who is ahead with the count 2-1. We'll go 2-2 now as a good fastball to the inner corner evens the count up. But Milton, the junior catcher, trying to reach base here. The breakthrough pitch. Strike 3. Milton brings a big swing but can't catch up to the fastball from Lazert for strikeout number 8. And now Lila Miller will step into the right-handed batter's box. Miller launched a 2-run home run in last year's regional championship against Crown Point. It was the only scoring play of the day for the Trojans. They fell 7-2, but that was similar to this year's Chesterton group, a team led by a lot of underclassmen. And Miller, one of the seniors of the group this year, behind 0-1 in the count, just swinging above that pitch, falls behind 0-2. But she's someone that maybe could try to lead by example here and try to find a way to put a ball in play against Lazert. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Miller swings through it for out number 2 here in the fourth inning, and the batter now is Jillian Pittman. So Pittman works with 2 down, nobody on. Crown Point leads 1-0 off a solo home run in the second inning. Pittman fouls it back to the screen. That's something we haven't really seen too much of in this half inning, is a foul ball. All of these strikes have been swinging for the Trojans, but that one fouled away by Pittman, so just trying to find a way to get the timing right against Lazert and then try to find a way to move it in play. The 0-1. He evens the count at 1-1. Think about how Lazert has been doing it. Has been using that fastball to get a lot of swinging strikes. Pittman drills this one high in the air towards left field fence, and this one will leave the yard. Pittman ties it up with one swing of the bat. A solo home run. As her teammates swarm her at home plate, Pittman has evened it at 1. The Trojans are on the board, and that one was crushed out to left field. That's the first home run of the season for Pittman. And talk about a way to get your team's first hit in the game against a pitcher that had thrown 3 no-hit innings through a no-hitter yesterday by sending one over the fence in left field. Now Hannah Florian takes a first pitch ball against Lazert. But what a swing from Pittman to tie things up at 1. Both runs occurring on solo home runs. The 1-0. Cued towards the right field line, ranging over and making the catch is Yarbrough. But we head to the bottom of the 4th inning with things much different now. Chesterton has evened things at 1. We'll see how Crown Point responds in the bottom half. Stick around. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
Cherup starts the count against Evie Cuevas with a strike to begin things 0-1. As Cherup winds, goes towards the plate, skips that one inside. We go 1-1. Mayor Pete Land and the Crown Point Pace Department are proud to support Crown Point Athletics and say Go Bulldogs. Crown Point remains dedicated to preserving history, celebrating everyday life, providing the best in city services, and encouraging smart growth. With the count 1-1, Cherup goes towards the plate. That's low for ball 2. You can visit Bulldog Park on select Saturdays for the Crown Point Farmers Market beginning May 23rd. Purchase wares from 70-plus vendors from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. through September 26th. For more information, visit crownpoint.info/farmersmarket. The 2-1 pitch from Cherup. Inside we go 3-1. And now in the bottom of the 4th inning, we have a brand new ball game with the score even at 1. And the batter, Cuevas, the Bulldogs trying to bounce back after allowing the solo home run in the top half of the inning. Cherup speeds in a strike to make it a full count at 3-2. So the sophomore pitching against the junior. The payoff pitch. Cracked over to shortstop. Miller gets in front of it. Throws it over to first base. Nice extension by Dusendang to hang on to record the out. That's how the bottom of the 4th inning starts with a 6-3 ground out. And now it'll be Ava Govert batting. Govert had the solo home run to start the scoring for the Bulldogs. So Govert steps in, batting right-handed, and talk about a day where the wind was blowing in, not sure what the conditions were going to be. 2 home runs have been the only scoring on the day, and Govert responsible for half of that. And then it was Jillian Pittman for Chesterton launching one for the first hit of the day for the Trojans. Crown Point 1 run on 2 hits as that's inside and hits Govert. So Govert reaches base on the hit by pitch. She will move on over to first, and now the batter, Anna Neal. So Neal will bat with 1 out and a runner on, and for Crown Point, after giving up a run in the top half of the inning, you're trying to find a way now to see if you could get Govert on the move to try to get another run across the plate, as it's a tie game here. Bottom of the fourth inning. Crown Point hosting Chesterton as the Trojans have a meeting at the Circle. A reminder that at the stay with us after the game when we'll name the proud to be Union play of the game presented by Ironworkers Local 395. Go to ironworkers395.com to start your future as a Union Ironworker. So Cherub back in the circle to face Neal in the second time today. And now a time called by Cherub. Neal was a strikeout victim in her first at-bat, was caught looking in the second inning. That was the at-bat following the Govert home run. First pitch will be a ball. They look over to the runner at first base. She scoots back, but the count 1-0 to Neal with her teammate Govert at first. This one rolled towards third base. Getting to it is Pittman. She throws to second, but it gets away. Everybody's safe on the play. So it was poked over to Pittman at third base. She was trying to get the lead runner, and it just gets away from the glove of Smith, rolls into center field. Everybody is safe. That was a tough play to make because it was just happening so fast, as you saw on the replay there. And Chisholm, the batter now. Then this fastball sent inside. But credit to Govert for hustling down the line there, too, to make things tricky to handle at second base. The count 1-0 to Chisholm. Now it goes 2-0, so 2 aboard, 1 out. And for the Trojans still, you can think about it, there's a variety of ways you can cook up some outs here. If it's a ground ball, you could try to get the lead runner or just make whatever play is easiest. But you want to prevent those runners from further advancing, as that's dropped low and the count quickly moves to 3-0. And what you certainly don't want to have here is a walk to walk the bases loaded. You have one runner in scoring position, but you don't want to add another. The 3-0 pitch, called strike one. For Chisholm, you have the luxury of being able to afford to take that pitch unless it's absolutely your pitch. You don't want to help the pitcher, and that was a strike you could live with there. The 3-1. Skips past the catcher. It was low for ball 4, so the bases are full as Milton races to retrieve that one, caroming off the backstop, but the bases are full for the Bulldogs with just one away. And the batter now, Lila Stymack. Stymack bats with a teammate at every base and only one away. Out a big spot here for the sophomore playing first base today. She could really help her team out in a big way if she could find a way to bring one or two or all 3 of those teammates home. Stymack has just 2 RBIs on the season, but has the potential to add to that with a teammate at every station. And for Cherub in the circle, you want to find a way to lock in, try to get outs. They send a pitcher down to the right field bullpen, but for now it is Cherub's opportunity. The first pitch to Stymack. Called strike one. She gets the far corner. And that's the right way to start that at-bat after she fell behind to Chisholm, being down 3-0 in that count. Now the 0-1. Lifted foul towards the first base dugout, and it's out of play. Dusendang tried to chase it down, but that was over the dugout, and the count goes 0-2. Cherub trying to find a way to get the out here. The 0-2 pitch. Outside will go 1-2. After a long set, she winds, fires. The 1-2 pitch set towards the right center gap. Charging towards it is Ford, but it'll be the right fielder Nichols making the catch. The throw home will not be in time. Govert will tag and score, so the Bulldogs take the lead on a sacrifice flyout by Stymack. So Stymack does her job, elevates it to right field, where Nichols makes the grab. And now the batter, Amaria Yarbrough, or it will not be Yarbrough, it will be Stella Dauphin to bat with runners at first and third and 2 outs. So Dauphin, the sophomore, gets ready to work.
Now batting for Crown Point, number 8, Stella Dauphin.
Dauphin batting .500 on the year, has 4 RBIs. So someone who will try to produce here, and that can be tough. Brought in as a pinch hitter where you've had to watch. Some of your teammates have taken 2 at-bats against Cherub, but you're getting ready for your first. She lays off the first pitch. It's called strike 1. But you still have to be attentive, pay attention, and get a feel for how the pitcher is throwing, even when you're in the dugout, and be ready for your number to be called. So we'll see what she can do here, as Dauphin has the count even at 1-1. In the last of the 4th inning, the 1-1 pitch. She checks. Did she go? They will say she did not. So the count 2-1, as there are runners at second and third. Chisen at second, Neal at third. The 2-1 pitch. Sent right side of the diamond. Smith rolls over to her left, makes the catch for out number 3. But the Bulldogs add another run on a sacrifice fly from Stymack. We're through 4. It's Crown Point 2, Chesterton 1. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Get Pulse Technology on your team and score a touchdown with our managed print and copier services. Cover your bases with our IT and technology solutions, or hit a home run with our wide selection of office supplies. Scoreboards or AV solutions from Pulse Technology. That's a slam dunk. Or go for the grand slam with our office furniture and design services. Get in touch with us today. Pulse Technology, powering Indiana business since 1919.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Top 5 here at Cynthia Field. Chesterton trailing 2-1, but they'll look to try to cut back in as Natalie Dusendang leads off for the Trojans. Paige Lazert still pitching for the Bulldogs. Sends in a first pitch strike with the fastball to start the count 0-1. Now she steps at the circle. High for a ball. Dusending was caught striking out swinging in her first at bat against Lazert, trying to change her fate this time. The 1-1 swing and a miss, strike 2. That was a big swing and a better fastball from Lazert for the second strike in the at bat. As we've seen, Lazert has had good life on that fastball. It's been hard to catch up to. The 1-2. Swung and missed. Strike 3. Dusendang, a punch-out victim here to start the 5th inning. And the batter now, Lexi Smith.
Lexi Smith.
And so Smith, she had a ground out to end the 2nd inning. It's been a dominant day at the circle for Lazert as she works that foul ball in the first pitch. There's been mostly strikeouts. 10 strikeouts, and the other outs have been 2 ground outs and a fly out. There's been the 1 home run, so not much put in play, as that high ball will even the count at 1-1. She's really had a strong day at the circle, but still far from over in the top half of the 5th inning. There's work to do against a Chesterton lineup that trails by a run. The 1-1 pitch is inside, moves the count to 2-1. So we saw a good take there by Smith on that pitch that started kind of above the plate, but then tailed inside. She didn't offer. Now the 2-1 from Lazert. That's high. We'll go 3-1. Smith, one of the seniors in the lineup for Chesterton, awaits the 3-1. Fouls it away. We go full at 3-2. There is 1 out in the inning, nobody on base. The batter, Lexi Smith, trying to figure out a way to reach base against the pitcher, Lazert. Now the payoff pitch. That is called strike 3. Smith heads back to the dugout, and now there are 2 away to start the 5th inning. And it will be Peyton Cherup batting.
The Trojans, number 19, Peyton Cherup.
Cherup bats with 2 down. So Cherup seeing if she can help her cause offensively. First pitch from Lazert is low for ball 1. After the Bulldogs scored 1 run in the 2nd inning on a home run from Govert, it would be Chesterton responding in the 4th inning with a home run from Pittman, and responding quickly, wasting no time, was Crown Point able to get a run on a sacrifice fly by Stymack to take a 2-1 lead. That occurred in the bottom of the 4th inning. The 1-0 pitch bounces its way to shortstop. Johnston gets to it, throws over to first. That will retire Cherup. It's a 1-2-3 inning. We're through 4.5. It's Crown Point 2, Chesterton 1. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
Batting for the Bulldogs, number 3, Scarlett Tegman.
Scarlett Tegman steps into the left-handed batter's box for her 3rd at-bat of the game to start the last of the 5th inning. Takes a first pitch ball from Cherup. Tegman flew out to shortstop in her first at-bat, grounded out to the circle in her 2nd. We'll see if the 3rd time is the charm for her against Cherup. With the count of ball and no strikes. She pokes it rolling past the 3rd baseman into left field. So Tegman is aboard with a leadoff single to start the 5th inning. Tegman got that off the end of the bat, and they brought the infield in, but that was just put in a good spot, going beyond Pittman at 3rd base. Through that gap, rolls to left field to Wagner. And now Lulu Johnston will bat with nobody out and a runner aboard first base. Cherup's pitch. Swung through by Johnston to start the count 0-1. So now Tegman at first. We'll see if she's a threat to move. The 0-1, she's going. The throw to second. Not in time. Tegman swipes second. Tegman had a good jump on that one, was able to hustle over to second with plenty of time to spare as the throw from Milton was not able to get there. And that one lined to shortstop. What a catch by Miller. Miller with the grab at short for the first out of the inning. Great reaction time there as one shortstop lines out to the other for out number one.
Number 28, Ashlyn.
That was one of the top defensive plays we've seen today. And that's the way it goes with Diamond Sports, where a player in Johnston, you absolutely get a hold of one, but you send it right towards a defender, and Miller makes that much better of a catch for the out. The 1-0 pitch to Keita bounces in for ball 2. So Keita bats with her teammate Tegman at second, trying to find a way to bring her home in scoring position. The 2-0 pitch. That's low, and away we go 3-0. So a dangerous hitter, Keita, is in danger of walking here, and we'll see if Cherub is able to find a way to battle back into this at-bat. The 3-0 pitch. Sent towards right field, curling into foul territory, but playable, just out of reach of Nichols. It will land foul. It was along the warning track portion of the foul territory in right field. Nichols had a long way to travel as she was initially playing more towards center field, but the count 3-1. On the 3-1 pitch, it's fouled away along the third base line. So after a couple of foul balls, the count now 3-2. It's full. Cherub's been able to battle her way back. She gets the sign from Milton. Now the payoff pitch. It's outside for ball 4. So Keita walks to keep cranking up the pressure for Crown Point. They have runners at first and second. And only one away here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. As Evie Cuevas will bat. Cuevas grounded out in her last at-bat and flew out in her first. So her third time facing Cherub. She shows bunt, jabs it towards third base. Pittman scoops it up, throws over. And hanging on was Dusendang for out number 2. So nice job by Pittman charging. And that could be, sometimes you have those communication problems where the pitcher and third base both charge in and almost interfere with each other. But that time Pittman calls her off, gets to it, throws over in time. So a sacrifice play by Cuevas. And now Eva Govert bats. She lines one into the glove of Pittman at third base. So a couple of strong lineouts this inning for Crown Point, but they result in even better defensive plays by the Trojans. Crown Point leaves 2 stranded as we are through 5. The score, Crown Point 2, Chesterton 1. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Sometimes the hardest part of improving your business isn't coming up with a great idea. It's knowing what to do with it. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services is ready to meet all your industrial and commercial construction needs. Whether it's a small build-out or a complete construction project, Chester will design, build, and finance. Our team eliminates multiple contractors, providing you a single point of contact while staying within your budget. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services, turning your ideas into realities.
You ready? Let's go! Yeah! For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated
Cadence Ford leads off the top half of the 6th inning for the Trojans. Takes a first pitch strike from Lazert, and what a couple of great defensive plays in the bottom of the 5th inning, and this is how it ended, with Pittman making a nice catch on the lineout to retire Govert. On a day where we've seen some great pitching by Lazert, a couple of home runs, there have also been some standout defensive plays in a close 2-1 battle between Crown Point and Chesterton. It's the Bulldogs who lead 2-1, but these Trojans really staying alive with some good defensive plays. The count 1-2 as Ford fouls it back. You think about the importance of that play by Pittman. Crown Point was threatening with their two of their top hitters, Keita and Tegman, on base, and to get that line out to erase that threat and end the inning, that was a clutch play by Pittman, and that could be one. If the Trojans are able to rally, you look back and say that was able to keep them within reach at 2-1, trailing 2-1. The count even at 2-2 to Ford. The pitch from Lazert. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That was a good rise ball from Lazert. Ends up in the glove of Cuevas, and Ford can't catch up to it as it continued to elevate for another strikeout.
Now batting number 2, Matty Nichols.
12th strikeout of the day for Lazert here on the top half of the 6th inning, so still some more outs to get. Nichols chases after that one, starts the count 0-1, but Lazert had 11 strikeouts yesterday in 5 innings. She has 12 and 5 1/3 today. Nichols struck out looking in her first at-bat. A good take there to even the count at 1-1. Milton and the top of the order are on deck for Chesterton. Nichols trying to bring them up with a runner on base, but we'll have to get defensive here as that is called strike 2. Right-handed pitcher against a left-handed batter. Lazert delivers the 1-2. Fouled back to the screen. So Nichols staying alive. A big spot here for Maddie Nichols, the junior right fielder. The 1-2 from Lazert. Sent foul off the third base side of the backstop. So still a 1-2 count, but Nichols with a couple of strong defensive swings to stay alive. Lazert trying to find a way to retire Nichols. She gets her to wave over it for strike 3. That's the second out of the inning, so it brings the top of the order up to bat with 2 outs and nobody on base. So back-to-back strikeouts to Ford and Nichols. Now it's Milton, who has been run up on strikes twice today. She's looking for a different outcome in her third at-bat against Lazert. First pitch pops in the glove for a strike. So Lazert has just continued to start counts with strikes. Now facing the top part of the lineup for Chesterton. The 0-1 at the corner for strike 2. So Milton down to her last strike. Last strike of the inning potentially for the Trojans. The pitch from Lazert. That's away for ball 1. Milton doesn't offer. So a ball and 2 strikes. Lazert will fire. Cracked just down the third base line, but it's foul. That broke before the base. A aggressive swing from Milton, but a little bit early. Just results in a foul ball. But that's what you want to see with 2 strikes, a competitive defensive swing. Now just trying to find a way to straighten it out, put it in play, preferably away from where any of the defensive players are. Lazert's 1-2. That's outside now. The count even at 2-2 because we certainly saw two very good swings, both from Johnston and Govert in the bottom of the fifth inning, but they were just lined directly at Chesterton infielders. And now the 2-2. Sent in the air towards center field, stepping in and making the catch is Tegman. That will end the inning. 2 strikeouts and a flyout as we are headed to the bottom of the sixth inning with Crown Point leading 2-1. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
Located in the heart of downtown Indianapolis, the newly renovated Hampton Inn is within walking distance to over 30 restaurants and attractions, including Lucas Oilfield and Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Hampton Inn has much to offer, including a hot breakfast, high-speed internet access in every room, as well as a fitness center. Why wait? Make your reservations today. Call 317-261-1200 or make them on the web at hamptonin3.hilton.com. Hampton Inn, Indianapolis, downtown.
Last of the sixth inning at Cynthia Field as the Bulldogs step in for what could be their last at-bats. It'll be Nia, Chizen, and Stymack up to face Cherub. Neal reached on a fielder's choice in her last at-bat. Cherub trying to keep it a one-run deficit for her team to get their bats back up. For the Bulldogs, they could use an insurance marker as Neal gets a good swing, drives it to left field, and it's over the fence for a solo home run. Right on cue, Anna Neal delivers an insurance run for the Bulldogs. That solo blast for Neal is her 4th home run of the season, makes it a 3-1 lead for Crown Point. And the way this game has gone, of course it's a solo home run. That's how all the scoring has happened so far. It was a solo home run from Govert to, well, almost all the scoring, I should say. Govert had a solo home run in the second. Pittman had a solo blast in the fourth. And then it was a sacrifice fly in the fourth that brought home Govert. And then Neal adds a solo home run now in the sixth inning with the batter Elle Chizen batting with nobody out, a run in the bank. And she has a take to start the count 1-0. That was a big run to get for Crown Point. The 1-0. Outside we go 2-0. Makes it that much higher of a hill for the Trojans to have to climb up against a tough pitcher in Lazert. As speeding in a strike is Cherub, moves the count to 3-1. The 3-1 pitch. Rolled towards second base. Smith gets to it, lofts it over to first in time for out number 1. Smith with a good defensive play to angle backward deep in the hole at second to get to it, then threw over to beat her by a couple steps for the ground out. So now the batter will be Lila Stymack. Stymack had the sacrifice fly out that drove in a run in her last at-bat. The first pitch, called strike 1. The 0-1. Poke towards third base. Diving for it is Pittman. The throw, though, will not be in time. Pittman had to fully extend just to keep that run from rolling past her. And Stymack was able to fly down the first base line to reach safely on an infield single. And the batter now, Amaria Yarbrough. So Yarbrough bats with one out and a runner on first base. Cherup's pitch. She shows bunt, jabs it along the third base line. Pittman throws over, but Yarbrough beats it. Going for third is Stymack. She is safe. So everybody's safe on the play. A well-executed bunt from Yarbrough puts runners on first and third for the Bulldogs. We see the replay there. That just barely rolls down the third base line. Pittman gets to it, but by the time she's able to release it, the runner's almost already at the bag. So she was safe, and then that allowed Stymack to then reach third. So the Bulldogs really making things difficult for Chesterton here in the bottom of the sixth inning. They scored one run already on the home run from Neal, and they're threatening to add one, maybe two more, with runners at the corners and only one away. And the top of the order up, here's Scarlett Tegman. She singled in her last at-bat. Will not go at that first one. And just trotting over to second base is Yarbrough for a stolen base. And the Trojans kind of just let her take it because they don't want to risk an overthrow and allow the runner at third to score. The 1-0, slap towards center field, ranging in is Ford. It lands in front of her. That will score Stymack. Now Yarbrough turns the corner, going towards the plate, and she goes wide of the base path, is tagged out there by the catcher Milton. But it's an RBI for Tegman. She ends up on second base after the throw. So Tegman adds her second RBI of the season and makes it a 4-1 lead for Crown Point. So Yarbrough thrown out at the plate. And she took a wide turn there on the third base line, was almost at the backstop when Milton got to her. This one's cued foul by Johnston. But the Trojans get another big insurance, the Bulldogs get another big insurance marker there to make it a 4-1 lead. So here's Johnston batting against Cherup. Fouled away the first pitch. Now time called by the pitcher Cherup. And the sophomore pitcher Cherup has really battled today. She's pitched well with runners on base, but the Bulldogs just doing a good job to build a rally here, having scored 2 runs in the last of the sixth inning. The 0-1 pitch, fouled away, makes it a 0-2 count. So Johnston trying to stay alive while Cherup looking to deal a way out of this inning. Her 0-2 pitch. Outside for a ball, moves the count to 1-2. Now Johnston gets ready for the 1-2 pitch. Skips this one towards shortstop. Miller gobbles it up, throws on a hop across the diamond, but beating the throw is Johnston. She's safe. And Tegman advances to third. Another infield single in the inning, as that was just put in a good spot. It bounced its way kind of equally distance to travel for Miller at short and Pittman at third. Miller, the shortstop, gets to it and throws it on a bounce over to first base. That was all the time Johnston needed to reach there. And now the batter, Ashlyn Kita. She takes a first pitch ball, and taking second base in the process is Johnston. So now 2 runners in scoring position for the Bulldogs with Kita working. The 1-0 pitch. Kita drives it foul, looping out of the concourse towards the walkway near the entrance. So that will even the count up at a ball and a strike. Cherup's 1-1 pitch as she gets the sign from her catcher Milton. Kita fouls it away almost to a similar spot, this one closer to the football stadium as it loops foul over the first base dugout. She's behind now, a ball and 2 strikes. Cherub's 1-2 delivery outside. So now 2s across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on base, 2 runs have been scored in this half inning. Cherub's breakthrough pitch. Low for ball 3. So the count is full. There is an open base for Kita, but for Cherub, you certainly think she wants to get the final out here. The payoff pitch. Fouled away off the end of the bat. First base side, so Kita staying alive. Just getting that one off the end of the bat. So Cherub will make her way back to the circle. After a few foul balls from Kita, just staying alive with the count full. The pitch. 3-2, lifted to right field. And making the catch is Nichols for out number 3. But the Bulldogs add a couple of insurance markers, including a home run from Neal. We are through 6, heading to the top of the 7th inning. Last chance for Chesterton when we'll be back. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Meet Scott Miller, a lifelong Northwest Indiana resident. Scott has spent his career serving his community as a teacher, school leader, and superintendent of Hammond schools. Today, he serves as chief of staff for the city of Hammond, helping lead operations and guide decisions that impact local families every day. Known for tackling tough challenges and making responsible, honest decisions, Scott is ready to bring steady leadership to the Lake County Council. Scott Miller, responsible, experienced, ready.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Miller, Pittman, and Florian due up for Chesterton as they're chasing 3. But this is the part of the lineup you want up. It's the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. But can Lazert shut the door? Her team leads 4-1. She deals the first pitch, and it's a nice fastball swinging through it as Miller. Talked about Miller had a 2-run home run in the regional championship between these two teams. That was against Lazert, but Lazert has been excellent so far today. Gets her to wave over it for strike 2 as that one was tailing away. Started it over the plate, but then just broke outside. So now no balls, 2 strikes. Crown Point with the lead here. The 0-2 pitch. That one gets away from her for ball 1. It goes all the way to the backstop and redirects back to Lazert at the circle. So now she'll prepare for the 1-2 pitch. And here it is. 1-2 fouled off the umpire. The umpire is in some discomfort, so we will allow some time for him to be checked up on by the trainer. So that will temporarily halt things as that's a scary play there as just that foul ball goes back and gets the umpire, but that count would be 1-2 from Lazert to Miller, and with some time now being given to the umpire to recover, and we'll see how he is, if he's able to stay in, but we'll remind you that Mayor Pete Land and the Crown Point Pace Department are proud to support Crown Point Athletics and Sago Bulldogs. Crown Point remains dedicated to preserving history, celebrating everyday life, providing the best in city services, and encouraging smart growth. Good to see the umpire back up and moving. taking a few steps around, but visit Bulldog Park on select Saturdays for the Crown Point Farmers Market beginning May 23rd. Purchase wares from 70-plus vendors from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. through September 26th. For more information, visit crownpoint.info/farmersmarket as now the umpires meet, and they will... Looks like we will be ready to resume play, so good to see the umpire after catching that foul ball off the arm that he is able to get back and stay in the game here. And Lazert ahead in the count 1-2 to Miller in the top of the 7th inning. Lazert gets the sign from her catcher, winds and fires. 1-2 fouled off of Miller. It gets off her front foot. So a couple of foul balls, and the count remains 1-2. So Miller trying to find a way to keep this at-bat going. And with a 3-run deficit, base runners will be important, and you can't afford to waste outs. Miller will go down swinging above that low pitch from Lazert for another strikeout. It's the first out of the inning. And the batter now, Jillian Pittman.
Now batting number 9, Jillian Pittman.
The 14th strikeout of the game for Lazert. She has been dealing here. And now the batter, Pittman, takes a first pitch ball. The count begins 1-0. What a day Lazert has been having. She threw 11 strikeouts in 5 no-hit innings yesterday, but has been just as good, if not better, today with 14 as the count evened up at 1-1 after that foul tip. The one home run from Pittman has been the lone hit of the day for Chesterton. Pittman gets a hold of this one, but it's raised foul over the Trojan dugout to make it a 1-2 count. But Pittman had one hit, or has the Trojans' lone hit so far, but it was a big one. It went over the left field fence to put the Trojans on the board. The 1-2 pitch. Outside, evens the count at 2. Lazert prepares for the breakthrough pitch. Here it is. That's high for ball 3. So the count full now at 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch. Cracked towards third base. It squeaks off the glove of Kita, and reaching first base is Pittman. She's aboard. So the Trojans not done yet. That was struck well towards first. Kita tried to reach over, try to backhand it. It caroms off her glove, goes into foul territory. That would have, even if she fielded it cleanly, that would have been tough to get the throw over in time. Pittman is aboard for the second time today. And the batter now, Hannah Florian. That's a take. Starts the count 1-0. So Florian 0 for 2 on the day, trying to change that against Lazert. The 1-0 pitch. Foul high over the backstop. Evens the count at 1. Now the 1-1. Outside will go 2-1. So a good take by Florian puts her ahead in this at-bat. Florian drives the 2-1 pitch towards right field. It will bounce to the track. Rounding second, going to third is Pittman. It's a one-out single for Hannah Florian, and Chesterton has runners on the corners. Now they'll have the tying run up to the plate. Pardon me, with Florian at first, Pittman at third, and Dusendang will bat with 2 on and 1 out as the Bulldogs will meet at the mound, and we'll have a pinch runner aboard first. That'll be Millie Demeter to replace Florian at first, so Demeter at first. So a big spot here for Chesterton, and you think now about how important those extra insurance runs were in the bottom of the last inning for Crown Point, where you were able to get not just the home run, but then were able to bring Steinmack across the plate on that single by Tegman. But Crown Point leading 4-1, Chesterton threatening. We've got a good one here at Cynthia Field. We'll see if the Trojans can continue to work things at the plate as Natalie Dusendang bats. Dusendang struck out both times in her prior at-bats against Lizert. The first pitch outside. The count begins 1-0. What a spot here for the senior Dusendang, trying to help her team out with a teammate at each corner. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. A big swing from Dusendang, but a good rise ball from Lizert moves the count with a big strike there. So Dusendang calls time, steps out of the box, trying to settle in and face Lizert here. The 1-1 pitch. She swings through it for strike 2. Another good rising pitch from Lizert. Gets to the glove of Cuevas, and now the count 1-2 as Dusendang trying to stay alive. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The 15th strikeout for Lizert. And now the Trojans are down to their last out with the batter, Lexi Smith.
Number 7, Lexi Smith.
So Smith up to bat with 2 outs and 2 on base. Lizert speeds in a fastball for a strike. Starts the count 0-1. Smith has a ground out and a strikeout looking in 2 at-bats against Lizert. She represents the last hope here for Chesterton. The 0-1, fouled. That was a pitch that started over the plate, but then started to break inside. Smith just gets it near the hands, fouls it backwards. So now she's down to her last strike with the count 0-2. Lizert gets ready, fires the 0-2 pitch. Outside, we go 1-2. So good take by Smith to keep the at-bat going. Here's the 1-2. Fouled away. Smith keeps the at-bat going, sending it over the backstop. The count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Demeter, the runner at first. Pittman, the runner at third. Now the 1-2. Fouled. Well struck, but it slices foul towards the left field bullpen. But Smith got a good hack on that one, but it just continued to curl foul, keeping the count 1-2. But we'll see if she can get a swing like that, but put it in play. Lizert, the 1-2. Pops into the glove outside. The count even now at 2-2. Scooting over to second was Demeter in the process. So now 2 runners in scoring position for Chesterton. 2 balls, 2 strikes in the count. Lizert gets ready. Smith cracks it down the left field line. It's fair. In to score is Pittman. Demeter will score as well. It's a 2 RBI double for Smith, and it brings the Trojans within 1. Down to her last strike, Lexi Smith extends the at-bat and just drives in 2 runs with that double, sent it in a good spot down the left field line. It continued to roll into the corner. And it's a 1-run ball game with the tying run aboard at second and Peyton Cherup up to bat. So Cherup, the starting pitcher for Chesterton, facing her counterpart in Lizert. Could change the outcome for her decision here with a good swing as Lizert speeds in a strike. That's a 4-3 lead for Crown Point with the tying run aboard at second. There are 2 outs in the inning. Lizert winds up the 0-1, check, and it's a strike. So now the count 0-2 to Cherup. The 0-2. That's high for a ball, makes it a 1-2 count. So a ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Lizert's pitch. She swings through it for strike 3, and that's the ball game. Lizert adds her 16th strikeout as the Bulldogs hang on to win 4-3. A late rally by the Trojans falls just short. The Bulldogs win to improve to 7-1 on the year, while Chesterton falls to 2-3. But what a game we had here at Cynthia Field. It's the home team getting the win to remain undefeated in Duneland play, but a valiant effort from Chesterton with a 7th-inning rally, falling just short, but a good day of softball. We will have some awards to hand out after this quick break, so stay tuned where we'll wrap things up in just a couple moments. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Have you heard? Stratton Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratton Manteau.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Finishing things up here at Cynthia Field, where Crown Point defeats Chesterton 4-3 in a well-played game between both teams. That was a fun one to watch. So now let's hand out some of the post-game hardware. It's time to name the Crowell Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crowell Companies have offices open from 9 o'clock to 7 o'clock Monday through Friday and Saturdays until 2 o'clock in Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City. The Crowell Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the Game tonight was, I think there's no doubt about it, it had to be Paige Lizert from Crown Point. A day after throwing a no-hitter, she picks up the win today, throws 16 strikeouts with only, if I do the counting real quick, just 4 hits against. She was really dominant at the circle. Not much put in play either. It was a good day pitching-wise for Lizert. She gets the win, ending things with the strikeout. So she was the superhero of the game. Keeping things rolling here, it's time to name the blue-collar player of the game, brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. The blue-collar player of the game tonight was, from the Chesterton Trojans, we'll go with the third baseman, Jillian Pittman. Offensively, she had 2 of the 4 hits for Chesterton, 2 of the 3 runs scored. She had a monstrous home run in the 4th inning to start the scoring for Chesterton, then singled to start the rally in the 7th, was brought home on the RBI double from Smith, and was very solid defensively as well. If you're following, we're not done highlighting Pittman defensively yet, but for now she picks up our blue-collar player of the game award. And for our final award, it's time to name the Proud to Be Union play of the game, presented by Ironworkers Local 395. Ironworkers Local 395, to find out how you can become a union ironworker, visit ironworkers395.com. And tonight's play of the game was, winding things back to the 5th inning, it was Eva Govert up to bat. She sends a liner over to third base, where it was Jillian Pittman making an outstanding catch. That occurred with 2 runners on base. And I know there was a lot of offense in this game, 3 home runs, but I always enjoy a good defensive play, and that's what we saw from Pittman there, just because of the height of the moment, too, with 2 runners on base, a close game, and that's kept it a close game. So Pittman made a great catch at third base to earn our play of the game. That was tonight's Ironworkers 395 play of the game, presented by Ironworkers Local 395, Union Strong. So time to thank everyone involved with this evening's broadcast. To our management team, executive producer Chris Ramirez, Rich Castillo, Zach Miller, and sports director Mike Dewan. To our producer Clint Klaus, doing a good job of getting us on the air and keeping us there throughout all of tonight's action. To Caleb Bernard, doing an outstanding job on camera, capturing all of the highlights tonight. And thanks to the coaches from each side, Chesterton's Aaron Cochran and Crown Point's Angie Richwalski, the athletic directors, Jeff Hamstra from Chesterton and Bill DeRola from Crown Point, and our viewers across all of the platforms you could have found this broadcast at regionsports.com, YouTube/RegionSports, Facebook/RegionSportsNation, and the IHSAA Champions Network. This is Leo Staudaher thanking you for watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Tonight's broadcast is made possible by Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Crowell Insurance Company, the insurance superheroes. Ironworkers Local 395, proud to be union. 4 Seasons Mechanical, quality and comfort is our guarantee. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn. Pulse Technology, leading the way in technological innovation for over 70 years. Visit Michigan City LaPorte, closer than you think, better than you imagine. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands